Damn girl, you shit with that ass.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Heckin podcast.
Bueno.
We've been breaking our heads for like the last couple minutes, just trying to find a way to like, what's the line to start the show? And once I heard that, I knew it was it's time to go.
Can you believe that there aren't any fucking songs that I knew that had the word asshole in them?
We're trying to think of a song that has the word asshole or something, and we're just drawing blanks. But that's because today's topic is Reddit stories. Hey, everyone's favorite.
Am I the asshole?
Yeah, so we're doing specifically the subreddit.
But I do have a question. So I always see them as AITAs, so AITA. But then when we were looking at we were looking some up on Reddit, it was like the AITAH.
Yeah, that's like the official subreddit name.
But asshole is one word.
I guess it's whoever made it.
The hole that belongs to the ass.
Exactly.
I don't know. So. Which do you prefer?
AITA, I guess.
Me too.
I'm just shorter the better.
A simple, yeah, exactly. Too many words can't fucking do not do the thing.
So yeah, guys, we're doing AITAs, as I call them.
AITAs.
So we're doing them. It's something we did before on the podcast, and we always have such a good time following like the stories and stuff like that. So we're gonna do a little bit of that again today. We'll put up a little bit of like snippets if we can on the screen for our audio only friends. Keep your ears open. You'll get it. Again, I know now we're doing video. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, please, I hate to say it, but like, comment, subscribe. Let's
you have to do it with your weenie. Your lady weenie,
Oh, no, not me. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was about to.
And if you are
about to get flagged.
This, I just want to. Please don't. I mean, I got to see it one time. I just was blacked out and I didn't actually get to see it. So I need to. But you did. I'll be drunk again. That's fine. But that's fine. If you are viewing this, I do apologize for looking like a straight up fucking toad because I'm basically slightly hungover.
Yes.
It's 2:30 in the afternoon.
It might as well be 9 p.m.
Yeah, at this point. And it's whatever time it is for you, baby. Listening.
Mm-hmm. It feels like I'm ready for bed.
Yes. Oh my God. Sleep is important. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. So we got a few each that we found. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'll start us off first, if that's cool.
Please do.
All right. So my first story is called, Am I the Asshole for Suing My Neighbor After Their Kid Trespassed and Fell into My Koi Pond?
Oh, God.
So this one says, I, 22 male, have a koi pond in my backyard. It's not just any koi pond. It's a full-blown, professionally designed Japanese garden with a bridge, waterfalls, and koi that costs more than my car. I'm talking $1,000 for a single fish. Monitoring this pond is my pride and joy. I've put years into this hobby, and my yard is securely fenced with no trespassing signs everywhere. Okay. Enter my neighborhood. Karen, as we'll call her, has a son. Let's call him Timmy, who's 8, who is notorious for wandering into other people's yards uninvited. I've talked to Karen multiple times about this, but she just like brushes it off, saying, kids will be kids. Last week, while I was out running errands, I got a frantic call from Karen. Apparently, Timmy climbed over my fence to feed the fish, even though I've explicitly told him to stay out. In doing so, he slipped, fell into the pond, and destroyed part of my carefully maintained ecosystems. Several of my prized koi died due to stress, and the filtration system was damaged because of the debris that Timmy kicked in. So Dennis the Menace just went in and just fucked it all up. Fuck. Luckily, Timmy wasn't seriously hurt, just a few scrapes, but Karen has been demanding that I pay for his medical bills.
Of course.
She claims that my pond is an attractive nuisance and that I should have had a cover or something to prevent kids from falling in. I argued that 1, it's a private fenced property, and 2, her son had no business being there in the first place. When I refused to pay, Karen lost it and started bad-mouthing me to the whole neighborhood, calling me heartless and a terrible person. I've since filed a lawsuit against her for the cost of the koi, the damage to my filtration system, and repairs to my pond. Over $5,000 in total. Some of my friends think I'm taking it too far for saying he's just a kid, but others agree that Karen should have been watching him better. So Reddit, am I the asshole for suing my neighbor after her kid trespassed and destroyed my koi pond?
Fucking no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. For one, that's trespassing. Like, you straight up asked this person, like, multiple times.
Like, it doesn't even matter that it's a child. Like, that makes it even worse. Like, you should be watching your child. Like,
how old was the kid again?
8.
8.
An 8-year-old climbing someone's fence. Like, where's the supervision here? Kind of deal.
But also, like, okay, so I try to see, obviously, I'm a different point of view at this point because I'm a parent now. And I'm like, I don't understand how people are so fucking entitled and continue, like, just sweeping all the important, like, learning lessons and shit under the rug. Like, bro, this is a fucking teachable moment. And, like, yeah, kids will be kids, but you also are the person that's in charge of redirecting. Like, why are you gonna, like, oh, that's fucking on you. That's a fuck ton of money. But, like, 22 years old, you've been maintaining that whole thing? Mm-hmm. Interesting hobby, but nonetheless, yeah, absolutely not the asshole.
Because it's like, I think about it from like my point of view. Like, what if I was into that and you're sinking like thousands? Mm-hmm. Like, this is not a cheap hobby that he's doing, you know? Yeah. And these koi fish are super fragile. Like, any stress or anything like that, like, they're done.
Right.
And, you know, and for someone to have that in their own house, just to have your neighbor make it a problem.
Yeah.
Like, that's your house. Like, you shouldn't have to not do things. So
it's your own fucking
that's
shit.
what I'm saying. Like you have your own space
like,
to do what you want. So now she's coming over here saying that it's too attractive, or what was it that she said?
Thank you. Yeah, that
like she was saying that it was an attractive nuisance, is what she called it. I was like, mind your own.
She's been cheated on before by an attractive nuisance, with an attractive nuisance. Sorry, that's shitty. But yeah, no, for sure. Mind your fucking own business.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
Like, as soon as I read that one, I was like, I gotta talk about it. I was like, there's that, like that. That's like, because I'm in the camp of the guy, because, you know, I'm like, absolutely. He has his hobby, things like that. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I have something in my backyard. If someone comes in and starts messing with it, I'll be like, hey, not cool. Don't let it happen again. If it happens again, then I'm doing something about it. You know what I mean? Like, and I know it's not the kid's fault. I don't blame the kid. I blame the parent for allowing it to happen. If it was a one-time deal and then all of a sudden they're doing the lawsuit, like, no, that's going to extremes.
Yeah, right.
But he already said that this has happened before. Like,
but also, is the kid like special needs or like
that's true,
know, that kind of stuff like that?
But I mean, I feel like that's a case by case thing,
right?
You know what I mean?
Exception.
Yeah.
That's
so like, if it was that, like, oh yeah, there's something with like special needs, like, yeah, like, oh, that's understandable, but even more precautions should have been taken if that's the case.
I do feel like OP probably would have been like, yeah, he's special needs, and I'm like really frustrated because I don't know that, you know, they understand how distressing this is to me. But it doesn't sound like that's the case,
right?
That's crazy.
Because it just seems like if he would have let it keep going. And there's a story that kind of relates to where I'm going with this. But if he would have like keep letting it slide like that, that neighbor would have just been pushing and pushing. Like, how far can she get? You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. There will be no consequences to it, like she's doing. Yeah. Like, she's just gonna be like, oh well, whatever. She's gonna keep defending him for the rest of his life. Yep. Like, and that's gonna teach the kid to be able to do whatever he wants and feel nothing for it, kind of deal. And I was like, that's the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Know. But yeah,
I love the cut and dry ones though. I like the ones that are like, you know, absolutely, you're totally not the asshole.
Where it's like very clear.
Yeah.
I feel like it's mostly like that. Like, I'll find some every now and then that are like, wow, you got to think about it. You know, like, is it like I could see both sides of the story, but like for the majority of them, it's always like, no,
a clear side.
Like, no, you're a fucking asshole or not the asshole.
Or or off the rip, you read the fucking like the title and you're like, God damn.
Yeah.
But then you're at it like the whole story unfolds and you get to see like, okay, you know, there's a lot of layers to that. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's hear yours.
Am I the asshole for refusing to host Thanksgiving after my sister handed out a family code of conduct contract?
Contract?
Yes.
Shit.
Advice needed, by the way.
It's fucking Sheldon.
All right. This happened recently. Oh, and by the way, this is not the story, but we're like 4 days away from Thanksgiving right now. Yeah. So this is probably why this was posted like fucking 3 hours ago. Anyway, so you're welcome. Bringing you the fucking newest, greatest, bestest
context.
That's like the second line in this. That's funny. This happened recently, and I'm still baffled. For context, I, 32 female, have hosted 32 feet. Sorry, have hosted Thanksgiving. It's my favorite. I've hosted Thanksgiving for my family every year since I moved into my house 5 years ago. It's always a little messy and chaotic, but that's part of the charm, right? This year, my sister, 29 feet, decided she wanted to help bring some order to the gathering. At first, I thought she just meant coordinating who would bring what dishes or helping with cleanup. Instead, she showed up at my house last week with printed copies of what she called a family code of conduct. She handed these out and insisted everyone read and sign them before attending Thanksgiving. Some highlights included a rule against overlapping conversations at the dinner table with suggestions for taking turns like a respectful debate club.
Ew.
The book. A ban on political or controversial topics with her as the final arbiter of what was too heated.
Okay.
A dress code of smart casual because holiday photos should reflect well on the family.
I hate that.
I hate it. Assigned seating that she claimed was based on optimal personality compatibility. I kind of fuck with that a little bit though.
I mean, yeah, I'd rather be seated next to someone that like I'm gonna vibe with. So like, I mean,
it's your family. So,
yeah,
I don't know. We have different families. We're moved. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
So she was completely serious. When I laughed and said, "You can't be serious," she accused me of not taking her efforts to improve family dynamics seriously. I told her I wasn't going to enforce a code of conduct at my house and that if she wanted to micromanage Thanksgiving, she could host it herself.
Yeah.
She doubled down.
I didn't even realize that it wasn't even going to be at her house.
Yeah, like she was trying to offer some help, but like,
fuck out of here with that
helpful. Get out of this. She doubled down, saying I was being ungrateful and stubborn. I canceled hosting, and now the family's mad at me. My mom thinks I should have just humored her for the day, while my brother, 35 meters, is refusing to what? Anywhere. Sorry, that's my bad.
That's good.
No, it says refusing to anywhere unless, maybe it says go, unless no one tries to draft a holiday constitution. I'm torn. Was I wrong for standing my ground? Sorry, it was refusing to go anywhere unless. Anyway, I'm such a great reader, you guys. I'm torn. Was I wrong for standing my ground, or should I have let her run the day to keep the peace?
Absolutely not. Like, I'm totally on her side because that is ridiculous, especially the fact that it's not even her fucking house to begin with. Like, if we were going to your house for something and you send me something like that, I mean, first off, we're not coming.
Right. We're busy.
It's just gonna be like that.
Never mind that I was gonna make the
I'm showing up somewhere with expectations of how to behave yourself and like act and stuff like that, like no. Get out of here.
No.
Like
settle down.
Like the only one that I can like understand is I guess like the political or like the certain like debate topics and stuff like that. Like
right.
Okay,
those are
like
hot and heavy for sure.
That one I get.
Yeah.
But everything else is like you're just taking everybody's fucking like individuality away.
Yeah, basically. Like I mean, people, and that's not to mention like if there's any alcohol or anything like that.
Oh yeah, that just makes everything.
Yeah, most fucking people are going to expect like
yeah.
It's a family gathering. There's a ton of dynamics. There's a bunch of history. There's things that other people know that people don't do, and all of that shit. So you already know dynamics are different. You're competing personalities, especially
Sure.
like at my house. Like my mom's like, you got the fucking 3 powerhouses. You're all fucking talking like basically at the same time.
Yeah.
Like at anybody that will fucking.
At any given moment, there's like 8 conversations going on,
Yeah.
like all with the same people, just
Right.
like redirecting. It's like as soon as I finish talking here, I turn around and I'm like, okay, you.
Right.
So
Who's fucking next?
so
Who's getting it?
There's like multiple
Like
conversations
the fucking
going
like
on.
last night. Yeah. But I mean, for sure, like I can absolutely agree to political or controversial topics, but
Yeah.
no, you're not the asshole. That's
No,
and especially what I do appreciate about it is that they were like, no, I'm just not fucking doing this at all. I'm
Yeah.
just straight up cutting this off.
Yeah.
We are not hosting.
Exactly. I was like,
Love it.
I hate when it's like, oh, well, I try to talk to him and this and that. I love that they were just like, no, if that's how you're going to be, then no,
Yeah,
I'm out.
Piss off. And
Yeah.
then you got the enablers like the mom and the family members that are like, yeah, no, we probably could, or we could have tried. No. Don't
No.
fucking, no.
Because then they're like all like one-sided or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And I don't know. I just, if I were to, for the holidays, if one of my siblings or something like that would have sent me something like that, I would have been like, you know what? I'll just see you guys next time. Like
Yeah.
you already, like every part of me that would want to go has already like left the building at that point
Yeah,
once
absolutely.
I see it.
That's-
And it's just like, I don't know. I don't like not that I don't like being told what to do, but I don't like being told how to act when I can handle myself. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true. Yeah.
like I'm not that person to be doing anything. I
Right.
don't know but to be fair, like let's devil's advocate. What if the person who sent the contract has a specific family member or something that is like way too wild or rowdy and this and that, and is one of those that like you can't not invite them.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
So it's not so much for everybody, it's more for that person,
general,
but wants to be inclusive for everybody.
Right.
I could see that.
Right.
But a contract be like, no, a phone call.
Yeah.
Hey, act right.
Yeah. Get your shit together. Fucking
Yeah.
maybe 1 bottle of wine instead of
Exactly.
3.
Yeah.
Settle down. Yeah.
Like you don't need to go through all that because I'm like, you put way too much thought into this. But like I know I'm gonna have to be walking on eggshells the entire night.
Exactly.
Or
And
I'm
that's
just gonna shut
embarrassing.
down and just sit in my chair eating fucking mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah. And not enjoying
Till everyone
anything.
goes home.
Yeah.
So
I want to know the outcome of it though.
Right.
Like, I hope that there's an update of some sort.
we'll find
That's-
out next week.
Yeah, we sure will. OP's like, hey, by the by, I had the best fucking Thanksgiving by myself.
Hell yeah, I love that.
32 feet.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready for mine.
Yeet.
I'm not going into the title, but I'm just gonna go straight into
Oh,
the
fuck,
story.
it's one of them.
It's just fun. So let me know your thoughts on this one.
Okay.
So this happened a few days ago, and I'm still trying to process it. Oh, by the way, this story has an update. So we have the main story, and then we get an update.
Beautiful.
So this happened a few days ago, and I'm still trying to process it. For context, I, 28 female, have been with my boyfriend, 30 male, for about 2 years. We live together, and I've always done most of the cooking because I genuinely enjoy it. And he claims that he can't even boil water without setting off the smoke alarm.
Mm-hmm.
The other night, I made one of our favorite meals, and while we were eating, he got a weird smirk on his face. He then says, "You know, I've been taking notes." And I laughed, thinking he was just joking. But then he said, "No, really, I made a presentation." I still thought it was a joke until he got up, connected his laptop to the TV, and opened up a PowerPoint titled "Improving Our Home Dining Experience." I was in disbelief as he went slide by slide, critiquing my dishes.
Bitch.
Slide 1, too much garlic, which first of all, there's no such thing.
Fuck
so
you.
fuck off.
Fuck you. There's no such thing as too much garlic. Eat my crumb.
Slide 2, pasta consistency.
Okay.
That one's okay, but
Sure.
whatever. You're not
Overcooked,
making it. Shut the
undercooked.
hell up.
Exactly.
Slide 3, more salt, less sass.
Damn. Okay, so he's fucking around. Right?
The kicker was slide 8, which was just a photo of Gordon Ramsay facepalming with the caption, "What'd he think?" I was stunned.
It's funny though. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
It is and it isn't. That's why I picked it because I'm like, I get him, but I also get her. And maybe they just don't click on like their sense of humor kind of deal.
Listen, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it says, I told him if he had such detailed opinions, he should cook himself.
Period.
He tried to backtrack, saying it was all in good fun and that he was just trying to help. But I wasn't laughing. I haven't cooked since, and now he's been living off of cereal and takeout. He is sulking, saying that I'm overreacting and I'm ruining the joke. Oh. So Reddit, am I the asshole for refusing to cook after my boyfriend presented me with a PowerPoint critique of my cooking? So before I get to the update, let's talk about it for a little bit.
So I feel like this kind of maybe came from a place of like, I don't know how to tell you this, but like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. So I kind of want to make a joke out of it. And I genuinely do think that there are a couple things that we've eaten that are just super unpalatable, but low key, I'm kind of scared of your reaction. Can you hear me out with this fucking presentation? And so maybe that wasn't the case. He could have
done it differently, I guess.
Or maybe he was like, hey, check it out. Like, I got something that I want to show you, and I think it's really fucking funny. But like,
see, there you go. Yeah, like set it up. Like, don't just fucking like bust it out of nowhere.
Notes, bitch. The fuck? On what?
So, I picked this story because it comes from a paranoia of mine.
Oh.
I love to cook. But I always feel like I over season or I overcook or, you know, so I'm always wanting feedback. Even if I make the same plate 1,000 times and I make it the same way every single time and I'm reassured that it tastes great or, you know, whatever. And every single time I'm still going to ask, how is it? Is it too salty? Is it too this or this, that? And
you people pleasing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
But it's also for me because I want to make it better kind of deal.
Yeah.
And so Chris will tell me, he's like he'll be honest with me. Like if it's salty or something, he'll be like, it was a lot of salt. Like he's like, it's a little too salty, this and that. I'm like, okay, cool. He's never mean about it. And that's why I'm saying, like, if he would have done it like this, I would have found it funny, but I would have also been a little annoyed of like,
you couldn't just fucking tell me.
You couldn't just say this because every time,
after
like
the meal, during
the meal?
Because
like sometimes I feel like it annoys him for me to ask him all the time of like, oh, how is it? How is it? How is it? How is it? So like I'll constantly just ask. I was like, we make fucking hot dogs, and I'm like, how are they? I'm like,
are you enjoying your hot dogs?
How's that hot dog water tea?
Mustard. Yeah. Oh my god,
it's delicious, by the way.
What mustard?
Hot dog water. Have you ever seen that joke where someone said that when they have guests over and they make them drinks? The people that she likes, she gives them regular ice. Yes. And then the people that she doesn't like, she makes the ice cube trays with hot dog water.
What kind of diabolical ass motherfucker?
I love that energy. I love it.
We're here for it.
That's like subtle pettiness.
Bruh.
I love it.
Oh my god. I would snap your fucking neck if you fucking did that shit to my ass. Like, especially if you waited for me to drink and be like, how does it taste?
Do the hot dog straw.
Perfect.
Here you go, you wiener.
Disgusting. Ew.
All right.
Oh my god.
So here's the update.
Okay.
It says, hey, Reddit, so it's been a wild ride since I posted my original story about my now ex-boyfriend's infamous PowerPoint presentation critiquing my cooking. We took a leap. I can't thank you enough for all the support, laughs, and even the outrage on my behalf. Buckle up, because here's the follow-up you didn't know you needed. After reading your comments and taking some time to process what happened, I decided that our relationship needed a serious talk. Okay. I sat him down to discuss how his presentation came across as not just unfunny, but pretty disrespectful. You know, typical mature relationship stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, what does he do? He smirks and goes, oh, I was prepared for this. Yeah. He actually grabs his laptop, connects it to the TV again, and presents me with another PowerPoint titled, How to Take a Joke, a Comprehensive Guide.
sorry, but that's on point. That's
once I read that, I'm like, I'm on his side. Like, I'm sorry. Like, she's way too sensitive. Like, that's so good. Like,
I'm for sure here for the dude. I mean,
so at this point, I was too stunned. Oh wait, sorry, I skipped a little bit. Yes, folks, he made a whole slideshow explaining why I needed to learn how to chill out and appreciate humor.
Why you can't appreciate humor?
No humor. Bad humor. Slide 1 featured a meme of a clown putting on makeup with my name plastered over it. Slide 2, a bullet point list titled "Why Your Overreaction is Hilarious." Slide 3 was titled "How I'm Clearly the Comedian in This Relationship." At this point, I was too stunned to speak. But then he pulled out slide 6. Things you can do while not cooking because you're mad. The audacity, right? It was as if he really thought he'd win me over with this next level presentation. Spoiler alert, he did not. So I did what any rational PowerPoint loving person would do. I made my own. I stayed up all night crafting a presentation called "Why It's Time to Move On, a Farewell Guide." It had everything: flowcharts, mapping his incompetence in the kitchen, pie charts illustrating my happiness before and after the great presentation debacle.
God.
And my personal favorite, slide 9, a gif of Gordon Ramsay yelling, "Get out!" This morning, I sat him down and went through my PowerPoint with the same energy he had given me, which I highly doubt.
Yeah.
His reaction... His reaction was priceless. He started with that same smirk, but lost it somewhere around slide 4. Top 10 reasons you're moving out today.
Oh, wow.
By the time I got to the resources for finding your own apartment slide, he was already packing a bag. Now, before anyone worries, yes, he did actually leave. And no, I didn't even have to threaten him with slide 12, which was just a photo of me blocking the Wi-Fi router.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we broke up and I'm single, happy and cooking meals for myself without any critique except my cat's judgmental stare, which is fair. And to those who said I should make a breakup PowerPoint, just know your wish has been fulfilled. I still can't believe how all of this went down over the course of one single weekend. But now I feel pretty good about myself. Thanks for all your comments and support.
That's a fucking wild ride. Impeccable.
I just imagine, like, oh no, I'm so sorry. How'd you guys break up? He made a PowerPoint.
Check this fucking out.
My God.
God damn.
That's insane. I think she went too far with it.
I think she also was looking for a reason to leave anyway.
I think so. There you go. I didn't even think about that, but right now that you said it just clicked, and I think that's what it might have been.
Because
that is
done.
such a jump.
Absolutely. That was a hair trigger fucking response. And
right.
She does need to learn how to take a joke, baby. Sorry.
But I mean, it also is that's the thing with all of these stories is you don't get that much context. Like you don't know these people yourselves. Yeah. What if he is an asshole and is always just poking fun at her to the point where it's you're not really being funny. You're just being mean. Yeah. But making it sound funny. You know what I mean? There's that way too.
Yeah. So low key, I feel like if Scott was at all competent with PowerPoint, and I'm not saying that he wouldn't be able to, he would do some stupid shit like that. Especially if it was a skill that was newly learned. Right. He was it'd be funny.
Right.
Bitch. No, she was looking for an excuse.
For sure. Now, I think that's what it is. I like that. I like that one. Because I mean, if we were like if I were to ask Chris, like, oh, how was this meal or whatever, if he says like a lot of the times he'll be like, it was awful, I hated it, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I hate it too.
Yeah.
You know, it's
and
like
your
it's
plate
always
is clean.
yeah, sure,
Yeah.
like I fucking hated it, and it's like clean plate. But it's like, you know, sometimes he'll say something, and I'm just like, 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 all right, cool, good one.
I mean, you got me. Like,
yeah, that was
what
good.
am I supposed to say to
like,
them?
all right, you got me. But it's like, you know, like don't
Cry a little bit.
Don't take it seriously,
No,
kind of deal.
no.
So I think that for sure was just reaching for any kind of like excuse to break up at that point.
And you know what? She don't deserve somebody with impeccable humor,
right?
like that.
Because that was good. The fact that he made a second one, already prepared for
But
her
wait,
to.
there's
like,
more.
Yeah.
That is.
I loved it.
I loved it.
It was
You
great.
are the asshole.
It was
Sorry.
great.
Sorry, baby.
It was great.
That was good.
All right.
So I have
What you got?
I have a 1.5, and I hope that's okay with you because one is.
What do you mean 1.5?
It's a little tiny that I just wanted to share because I
Oh,
thought
sure,
it was
yeah,
fun.
a fun size one.
Yes, thank you, perfect. I just had one of your fun size Three Musketeers, by the by.
Oh, I love those.
I appreciate it,
Those are
and I
favorite.
think do I still have it? I don't. Anyway, so this one's NSFW. Okay, not
okay.
safe for work. So
You've been warned.
Yes, we can lower the volume a little bit, like that one guy says. Am I the asshole for telling a stripper she smelled down there? I was getting a lap dance and she put her crotch right in my face, as one does when they're getting a lap dance, and it reeked like onions and vinegar. I politely asked how long she's been at work that day, and she asked me why. I asked that, and I
You ripe? Are you all ripe?
I put. I didn't mean to straight cackle. Oh my god. He said, I politely replied, because you need to freshen up the clam, honey. I got cussed out and thrown out of the bar.
No. That's
That's
a good one though.
That
but I mean, for sure, like, ew. But also, like, I'm on his side. I would have said something too. Like,
I mean, bless him, you're paying for it, baby.
Paying to fucking burn all my nose hairs off. Like, I'm cool.
I truly love it. I love it.
That was a good one.
Okay, so here's the full size.
Okay, let's hear it.
Am I the asshole for telling my friend to leave after she brought kids to my house unannounced?
Okay.
Off the rip.
Okay.
What you think?
It just depends how the kids are. I would say.
Okay.
I would say it just depends on how the kids are. If the kids are like very well behaved or whatever, like I don't care. And generally, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like if someone was coming over and whatever happened over there that they ended up having, like, you know, they're like, oh, I'm babysitting my nieces or whatever for the day, like, and then they come over and not tell me, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But I think it just depends on the kid, because if it's one of the kids that are just like the tornado just like going, knocking everything down,
Right.
making a mess, this and that, I'd be more like, maybe we can reschedule.
Right.
Kind of.
So that's where my head first went to too. Like, I immediately was like, okay, well, the kids though, I don't know. It depends. So here's the full story. I, 26 female, have been friends with Amber, quotations, 26 female as well, since we were children. She has 3 little girls, a 5-year-old and 2 1-year-olds. Fuck. I do not have kids, nor do I want any. A few days ago, she was apparently by my house and decided to drop by unannounced with all 3 kids in tow. Now, due to the lack of children, my house is a death trap for toddlers since nothing is childproof.
Okay.
I also smoke weed pretty heavily, so I had all my paraphernalia out on the table. On top of that, I live with an aggressive alcoholic who was actively drinking when she showed up. I told her that if she wanted to stop by, she needs to come back another day or take the kids home, because I don't think it's right to expose children to these things.
Sure.
Her and her husband both called me rude, and now she won't talk to me. I don't think I'm an asshole for not wanting kids around that, but I'd like to hear other opinions as well. So, am I the asshole?
Absolutely not. I think she made the best choice.
No. But why are you in a fucking living situation with an aggressive alcoholic as a completely
also
separate
yes
item?
But in the context of that story, she made the right call.
Yeah.
Because she's thinking of the kids. Mm-hmm. Like, you have all your shit laid out, everything out in the open. You're not expecting company.
No. And then not having a childproof home is one thing when the kids are a little bit older.
Right.
So like if they're like 3,
like little
even
toddlers.
2, like Vera's in our house and it's not childproof basically at all.
Right.
Like we only like have closed up cabinets so that she can't completely open them. But basically anything else is like, you need to be watching your kid. But that's our space. That's our home. When you're taking your kids to somebody else's house, then you do have to be cognizant of that. And I don't know why the fuck you would be like, yeah, I want my kids around drugs. Like, settle down.
Yeah. And I was like, especially if they know what's going on already. So it's not like they're strangers. They know what happens at their house and stuff. And you're still going to willingly bring kids over knowing what goes on there kind of deal.
Right.
Like, so yeah, I mean,
they've known each other for years.
So I mean, I'd say not the asshole because that was the friend's fault for like taking it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like that's not their problem.
No,
like,
not at all.
Like no. So I mean, there's some people who just don't care.
Yeah.
Like they don't care, and anything that comes after them is like an attack kind of thing. And like they won't be able to see that perspective of like, okay, yeah, bring your kid in and let them see all this shit. Like expose them to all this stuff. Like, is that really what you want?
No.
Like,
and they're gonna be asking questions. Like they're 5 and 3 and or 5
especially
and
the 5-year-old. The 5-year-old's gonna be extremely observant of still like what's going on.
Right.
And he's old enough to kind of be able to like, what is that? What do they like this and that? I was like, they're at that age where they're the sponge, so they're not like that's the worst time to be bringing them around and stuff like that. So,
and then the aggressive alcoholic as well.
Yeah,
add that into the mix, and then what do you explain? How do you explain that as well? And they can't comprehend that. So anyway, no, not the asshole.
All right, here's mine.
Okay,
let's see. This is This one's a little lengthy. But I'll try to get through it. All right. So keep I'll keep your attention for a couple minutes. Bear with me.
I have a super short attention span, so I appreciate it.
Bear with me. Here we go. Hi, everyone. I apologize for any errors in my English as it is not my first language.
Oh, it's already starting out fucking fresh.
It's not too bad. I, 29 male, and my wife, 30 female, have 2 kids, 5 and 3, both boys. My wife works a full-time office job while I work from home with extremely flexible hours. Basically, as long as I meet my deadlines, no one really cares how many hours it took or what time of day I work outside of some Zoom meetings. My sister's 26, let's call her Barb, and her husband, 30, let's call him Nick, live nearby and work full-time jobs. They have a daughter, 5, and let's call her Tracy. Because of my comfortable work schedule, when our kids started going to daycare, we basically decided that I'll be dropping off and picking up my niece from daycare alongside my own kids.
Okay.
I didn't really mind, and I thought it was great for my kids to spend time with their cousin. I get along with Tracy as well, and always thought I was her cool uncle. She's a sweet kid and usually well-behaved. So anyway, most days, I bring her and my kids back to our house. I make them snacks for dinner. And in the afternoon or evening, my sister comes to pick them up. A few days ago, the 5-year-old kids were watching Bluey on the TV as I was preparing snacks with my 3-year-old, and I suddenly heard yelling. I rushed over to see what's up, and my son was yelling at her that, "My dad's not a girl," while my niece yells back, He is a F word.
Oh.
Starts with an F, ends in a T. I'll let you guys figure that out. That's like a girl. The word is different in my language, but the meaning holds as the distinction between using it versus simply addressing a gay person. I'm kind of in shock at first, but I turned off the TV and I sat her down and began explaining that this is a very bad word and we shouldn't be calling people that. And that regardless, I'm not a girl. And because this is a bad word, she should apologize to me because we don't act mean to each other in this family. And if I hear this again, I'm going to talk to her parents and she's going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
She said she won't get in trouble because that's what her dad called me, and he's not in trouble. I was stunned. I told her that regardless of what her dad said, it's a very bad word, and she's not used to it with me, and she's not to use it with me or in my presence, and that she should apologize regardless because it hurt my feelings, which she did because she's a really good kid. We talked some more, and I prodded her about other things her parents said, and from what I gather, getting info out of a 5-year-old being obviously a difficult and unreliable process, Nick, my brother-in-law, told my sister in Tracy's presence that men shouldn't be sitting at home all day and doing childcare. That cooking is a woman's duty.
Wow.
As is cleaning and really most of the things I do around my house. And that I'm a girl, I interpret this as not really a man, because I do housework and my wife earns more money than me. I explained to her the best I could that men and women could work from home or an office, and that my wife or Barb working long hours from the office doesn't make them men, and vice versa. But I didn't dwell on it with her since it's not really her fault. Yeah. I didn't immediately bring it up with my sister because I figured it would be a difficult conversation and I didn't want to have it in front of the kids.
Right.
I wanted to talk it out with my wife first as well. I did talk to my wife that evening and she seemed really upset as well. I told her that I think I should demand an apology from Nick and my sister, and she agreed. So I called my sister and told her what happened, and she said that it's just a word and I'm blowing it out of proportion, and obviously Nick doesn't dislike me. I said, I don't care whether he does or doesn't dislike me. He is talking shit about me behind my back to my niece and to her. And she's apparently very chill about this rather than standing up for me. Right. She said that was how Nick was and I should stop being a drama queen. I told her to fuck off, and if that was how she felt, she could pick up her own child from daycare, and hung up. I know it was really short notice and rude, but I really felt like I was being disrespected by people I did so much for over the years and were my family. My wife said that she understood and that I shouldn't back down until I at least get a proper apology. Mm-hmm. The next 2 days were a weekend, and there was no daycare. I assumed there would be calls or texts from Barb, but there was nothing. In fact, the suspicious lack of any messages or calls made me think that she didn't take my words seriously, and this actually got me even more angry. Yeah. The calls did come when it was time to pick up Tracy for daycare, and I obviously didn't come. I dropped my own kids off and didn't even answer for a while. I know it was petty, but I was stewing for 2 days and figured letting Barb stew for a few hours seemed really appropriate and felt really good. Around noon when she called again, I did pick up. I was going to smugly tell her that I was ready for my apology and we would put it behind us. But I didn't get to. Instead, she went off on me about how I was irresponsible and I flaked and she was so late for work because of me, which I just said, I told you I wasn't going to pick her up. You had 2 days to make arrangements. And she kept yelling at me, so I hung up again. She kept calling and sending me texts about picking Tracy up from daycare, to which I said I will not be, then stopped replying. When I came to pick my kids up, Tracy was expecting me to take her as well, and I didn't, which was very rough on me and her both. Like, I know it's not her fault and she's 5 and she suddenly doesn't get to go over to our place and play and have snacks, but at the same time, I didn't want to just let things go. I felt like I deserved an apology and still do. So I explained that me and her mom were fighting, but I'll pick her up again when we work it out. She obviously didn't take it well because she's 5, but I apologized and took my kids and left. Well, a bit later, I got a call from my mom. Barb roped her into picking up Tracy, but my mom is disabled, so she was having a really hard time with Tracy and asked me why I was being mean to Barb. I told her everything, expecting her to take my side, but instead she also pulled a, you know how Nick is. To which I replied that the more I realize how Nick is, the less I like it. And if he thinks all this shit in general about me is specifically, I sure as fuck ain't gonna be doing free labor for him. Mm-hmm. She said I was blowing this all out of proportion, and I told her I wasn't the one doing it because all I asked for was a fucking apology. And everyone else seemed to prefer all of this shit to just giving it to me. To which she said I should just be the bigger man and not let it get to me. To which I said I was done and have fun with Tracy. That evening, I got a call from Nick himself, which I was hesitant about, but I chose to answer on the off chance that I was actually about to get the apology. Almost done, I promise. Nope. Apparently, my behavior is causing Barb great distress, and we're family, and how can I do this to my own sister? I told him that since we're family, how can he talk shit about me to his kid, which I take care of daily? And he said he was only joking, and it was all in good fun. I told him it was neither good nor fun for me, and I want an apology. He blew up on me, telling me I was a F word again, and couldn't take a joke, and called me a hysterical little girl. I told him to fuck off and that I was done with him and hung up. And this led to a bunch of calls from Barb and my mom, to which I didn't answer. Barb texted me that it wasn't fair for Tracy to pay the price for me being petty. And I told her that it wasn't fair for Tracy to pay for the price of her parents being ungrateful pieces of shit, to which she just text yelled at me a bunch of how she was going to lose her job and I was being cruel to her and to mom. I told her I was done, and unless her next message was an apology, I'll be blocking her number. And it wasn't. So now I blocked her. Mm-hmm. Past few days, my mom's been picking up Tracy, and it's been getting really rough seeing her in daycare and explaining that grandma's going to pick her up, which she hates, and tells me that she isn't having fun with grandma and wants to come over to our place. And it's breaking my heart, but at the same time, I never got a single apology from anyone but the 5-year-old. And I feel like letting this go would just be telling my family that it's okay to ignore my boundaries. Right. But at the same time, I do love my niece and I don't want to traumatize her or have her resent me. She is a good kid and none of it is her fault. So am I the asshole? And what do I do?
I think as far as what to do, because obviously he's not the asshole, right. But there are some components where, yeah, like you do want to keep your relationship with Tracy.
Sure.
But I think just as long as, I mean, like we talk about this a lot with like all of my friends are mostly like aunts, uncles, kind of things like that. So you are the one that is the adult in that situation where like you are choosing to have a relationship with your niece or nephew.
Right.
So if they're going to allow you to keep a relationship with Tracy by whatever means, whether it's apologizing or, you know, whatever the fuck else.
Yeah.
Like try, but also that's just going to have to be something that he has to explain to Tracy when she gets older. But, I find it funny that Nick is also like, oh yeah, you're not a fucking man for, you know, being at a full-time job, like in a place, but it's like, okay, well, if you want to use those gender fucking roles, then why aren't you earning enough for your wife to be able to stay home with your kid?
Sure. Let me add a little bit more context. I figured it was long already, so I didn't want to add it, but I'll sum it up really quick. So he had made a second post afterward.
Oh.
He finally got his apology, very half-assed, but apparently the one who got called the F word and everything, our main character here, was paying for them to go on vacation together with them. He was paying all these things. He was doing a whole bunch of stuff on the side for them to go around and be that ungrateful and be talking shit like that.
Bro.
Like, I was like, that's like crossing the line. Like, they're so entitled to me that it's like,
yeah, and that entitlement, but also again with
and
the
also the
enabling
sister. It's not just the brother-in-law. It's also the sister for being like, oh, you know how he is. Like no,
that's what, yeah,
he
and
is like
too.
that
Yeah.
because you allow him to be like that.
Enabling.
Exactly.
Fucking
I was like,
quit it with the fucking enabling. You got toxic people in your fucking life. You need to fucking set them straight.
Because there's like people that I know that get that same thing too. Yeah. Like they could do whatever they want, and then afterwards it's just like, oh well, you know how they are, and I'm like, that's not okay. That's not an excuse. No. Like that's like when they were like fucking 8 or 9, like sure, but now they're in their 20s, they know better.
Yeah.
Like don't be fucking still defending people.
That's even harder. To stomach.
Yeah. So it was rough. So they ended up working it out, but yeah, there was a few stuff in there. But I for sure think everyone involved. The mom came around. The mom ended up understanding after they spoke, and so the mom came around. But for sure, the sister and the brother-in-law were like the asshole for sure
100%
of that whole story.
That's just like.
And like the fact to be using language like that around impressionable kids too. And then the fact like, and it's one thing to say it and have it slip or something, and then they repeat it to talk to them and be like, that's not okay. But the fact that they were upset about the fact that she said it and he didn't like it.
Right.
Like that's what made them
absolutely
upset.
No accountability for that.
Yeah, exactly. That's I was like, that's annoying.
No. Nick sounds like a Nick that I know. And I'd fuck that shit. No.
All right, we got a few more here.
Okay. Am I the asshole for wanting to disinvite my fiance's childhood girl best friend from attending our wedding for drunkenly confessing her love for him at my bachelorette party?
Oh my God.
Advice needed. I, 23 female, and my fiance Elijah, 28 male, are due to get married at the end of next month at our destination wedding. Last night was my bachelorette party, and I invited my closest family and friends to come along with a few of my fiance's family and his friend Cammie, 27, female. For some backstory, I and my fiance met when I was 19 years old. Both of our fathers are business partners and have been friends since I was in high school. One night, his family invited mines over. It actually says mines, okay? For a party being held at their home. And that was the first time we met. I was attracted to him, but I knew he was older, so I didn't believe I had a chance. As the night progressed, he was hanging outside in his backyard, alone smoking, and my sister dared me to go talk to him. So I did, and a year later, we began a relationship. My fiance and Cammie have been friends since they were kids, and their families are very close. She's always been extremely nice towards me and wanted to be best friends from the first time we met. I found it a bit odd only because she barely knew me, but I didn't think much of it because she'd been dating my fiance's best friend, Antonio, 28, male. We didn't become best friends because I already have a close friend group, and I don't really trust easily, but she's been cool and never crossed any boundaries. Last summer, my fiance proposed to me on a trip to Belize. Wow.
Very nice.
There wasn't jealousy in there. It was just a little bit of like, that's a lot. Okay. Good for you, OP, okay? When the announcement was made, everyone sent their congratulatory praises to us, but Cammie. She sent a text the next day to my fiance only, not our friend group chat, saying she was happy for him. She was a bit standoffish to me since then, but again, I never paid attention really. Became I have my own friends like and life.
What?
Did I stroke out? Or no? My friends and life. Okay. Anyway, I had a gratin when I was chickacrit. I had lost Avimakam on my fast. Anyway, about 6 months ago, Antonio and Cammie broke up, but never really stated the reason why. Just that they wanted to go back to being friends and be happy with other people. Fuck. Fast forward to last night, my bachelorette party was in a suite at a popular hotel here in Miami, where I live. Planned by my older... Oh my God, am I broken? Planned by my older sister and Eli's sister, Ava, 26 female. The night was amazing, and I truly had the time of my life. We all were getting wasted, and I decided to go to the bathroom. And when I got closer, I heard voices and whimpering like someone was crying. It was then I heard Cammie telling Ava that this should be her, and that she doesn't understand why he would want to be with someone like me. When it was always supposed to be them two together, she always loved him. I sobered the hell up instantly. I might have to do a part 2, but guys, tell me, would I be the asshole for disinviting her from my wedding when it's a month away?
Jeez.
That's heavy. I think, again, we got to have these boundaries. We got to be better about setting these boundaries, and we got to be better about keeping them.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely have a
conversation.
conversation.
I feel like that just follows the stigma of like guys can't have friends who are girls. Girls have friends who are guys.
Platonic things, yeah.
Yeah, they can't have platonic relationships, right. But it's like, they really can. But it's cases like these where
respecting boundaries.
Yeah, for the most part.
I think having a conversation with Cammie and just being like, dude, check it out. Like, I overheard this. I don't feel comfortable with this. I've kind of had a couple of situations where I did feel a little bit of standoffishness from you. Right. And now that it's all plugging together, you weren't genuinely happy for me on the day that I really need support and people to support and love me.
And you never really were.
Spouse. Right.
To begin with, kind of deal. Like,
and what the hell was the intention with wanting to be her best friend when they first started, dating and stuff like that?
Like maybe just to be closer to him. Yeah. Kind of deal, but it's
that's rough.
It's and for sure, like, don't be at the wedding. Like, you've already damaged everything, by just saying anything. Yeah.
So definitely talking to the, fiance and stuff like that, and getting that shit kind of squared away, because now you need to know what are his intentions with her. Obviously, he wants to marry you, and he asked to marry you, and all that stuff. But it's like
if he wanted to be with her, he would have.
He wouldn't have been with OP for sure. Yeah. But at the same time, like, knowing his perspective and understanding that, I don't know, maybe that's kind of opening up another Pandora's box, but yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah.
It sucks. Yeah, but I would like to lighten the mood with a different one really quickly. Right. Another 0.5. Another fun size one.
Okay. Let's hear
it. I am writing this intoxicated.
Pretty great.
My cat is very finicky and only likes to be pet a certain way. I pet her not thinking about it, and she didn't like it and swatted me. Am I the asshole? Is she the asshole? I've been crying for 10 minutes now. I just want to pet her.
Rule of thumb, cats are always the asshole.
Literally. Cats hate everybody is one of the comments. So,
if it's not in their interest.
Pet me with your eyes.
There you go. With your aura.
So fucking look at me. Okay, look at me. All right.
You have another one, or you want me to go?
No, go ahead. Okay. You're good. Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna lighten the mood again too.
Good.
So it was a good one. This one had me. This one was a good one. All right. So my Uncle John has a super fun way to make kids cry.
Oh, yay.
He will get the oil from lemon rinds and touch balloons. I never knew this was a thing. But apparently, if you get lemon rinds and touch balloons, sometimes they pop.
They pop? Okay.
They pop immediately. Sometimes they take a few seconds. At every party I've ever attended where there was balloons and children, he left a trail of torn latex and crying children.
Motherfuck.
My parents think it's all in good fun. I think he's a prick. My sister had her quinceañera last week. My contribution was a balloon arch. My sister was obviously turning 15 and didn't really care about balloons, but we got some very nice pictures with the arch. So then I set it up outside on some AstroTurf. A few other people used it for pictures as well. Then my uncle showed up. I went up to him and told him that I had paid for the arch for my baby sister's party and that I wanted him to leave it alone.
You better fucking don't.
He said he would.
He said he would?
Mm-hmm. He would leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Okay.
He did not.
Fuck.
I didn't want any accidents inside, so I didn't add the 3 balloons with fart spray to the arch.
My goodness.
Until I moved it outside. And the balloons were double baggers. I had blown up one inside another before it inflated the outer one.
Okay.
But you could see the inside balloon. It was too much of a temptation. He resisted for 10 minutes or so. Then someone came and told me, so I went outside. He was about to pick up the inner balloon, and I told him not to touch it and to stop blowing up the decorations.
Oh, fuck.
He didn't listen. He said he wasn't doing anything except touching the balloons and that it wasn't his fault they were popping. So be it. He picked up the inner balloon. It wasn't as inflated as the outer one, so the surface tension was less. Therefore, it took almost 2 seconds for the balloon he was holding so proudly to pop. Gagging, dry heaving, watery eyes, a profound desire to be elsewhere. I went through all of that. I cannot imagine what it would be like to be drenched in the liquid form of fart spray. Drenched is an overstatement. There was a maximum half a fluid ounce of fart liquid in that balloon, but he was covered in it.
Oh, fuck.
And the pop did aerosolize it somewhat, so it got all over.
Oh.
He ended up having to go home and change. It was only like half an hour he was gone. Maybe an hour. I wasn't paying attention. He did come back, though, freshly showered, and he's pissed that I would play such a childish prank at such an important event for his family. I said I had no idea what he was talking about. I reminded him that he had promised to leave the balloons alone and that I had warned him not to touch the balloon that got him. My family is divided. They think I was a jerk to play a joke at my sister's party, but they are almost universally sick of him popping balloons. Mm-hmm. My grandfather laughed his ass off.
I love that. It's harmless.
It's to teach him a lesson.
Yeah.
Because it's teachable. Like, I feel like it was one of those people who they're so used to being the funny guy, whatever, they got to do stuff and like up the ante every time. Right. And once they find something that worked once, they're going to do it every single time.
Right.
But I thought it was funny. Like, he learned his lesson because, like, they told him, to be fair, they told him, don't fuck with the balloons. He did.
You were warned.
There you go.
You were warned.
If he would have left it alone, he would have been fine. But then he went around, fucked around, found out.
Exactly what I was going to say.
No,
so
whatever.
You made your fucking bed, brother.
I have one more.
Okay.
So this is my sister's story. Not my sister. This is OP.
Okay. OP. Okay, got it. Love it.
Earlier last year, I bought a puppy. Some kind of walking mop. Cute as heck. The seller warned me that it had a very specific dietary requirements. Honestly, the last thing I wanted to do on my time off was to make dog food. So I approached a woman recommended by my local pet shop to make 2 weeks worth of dog food. She uses very cheap cuts, grains, and supplements specifically formulated for dogs. I picked up the individually packaged bags every second Monday morning and keep them in a plastic container labeled with my name in the community fridge. Then take it home after work and it doesn't take up too much room. A while ago, I noticed that some of the bags began to go missing. Then found the empties in the waste bin. They are marked DF with the date in the black Sharpie. I immediately knew what was going on and thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Luckily, my mother is in love with the dog Mop Face. And when she dog sits around 3 times a week, she feeds her. So dog never goes hungry.
Okay.
So I let it go on, occasionally complaining to HR and colleagues about my specialty food being stolen. Mm-hmm. Other than a sternly worded email, nothing was ever done about it.
Of course.
Finally, during our 6-month productivity meeting, I'd loudly complained that my bags of dog food were still going missing on the regular because now I actually was getting pissed off at the blatant theft.
Yes.
2 young guys gave me horrified looks. Neither of them ever fessed up to the pilfering. But since that meeting, my dog food has never gone missing.
I love it.
My close office colleague thought it was funny, but said I was a real asshole for allowing it to go on for so long.
Oh my God.
So am I the asshole? At least I know it must taste all right. And maybe I'm imagining it, but their hair does seem shinier.
That's a perfect end. I love that. Fucking. No, you're not the asshole. It's fucking great.
I don't think she's the asshole. I think they got taught a fucking lesson.
What? Okay.
About stealing shit that's not yours.
Yeah, I can't understand. Because, like, Scott, when he worked at, before where he was right now. Anyway, he was like, man, I fucking showed up to work and someone ate my fucking, like, one of my 2 meals.
Oh no.
Because he worked 12-hour days.
Uh-huh.
So he had 3 meals that he took with him every fucking day.
Yeah, sure.
So he was like, man, that's a bummer. But what it ended up happening, or what ended up coming out of it, was that the person thought that we had the same container. So they thought it was their food.
Gotcha.
Heated that shit up because they're just a bunch of dudes not paying attention to nothing. Half of them are falling asleep during fucking work anyway. So they were like, fuck.
That'll do it.
It happened a couple times and it was like, okay, well, at least someone's not fucking stealing their shit. But like, I know there are people that are like, can someone stop eating my fucking sandwich? Like I bring one in every day, or like, and that's fucked up. I'm like, damn food. Like I understand like times are rough. Yeah. Sometimes you got to get some food somehow, some way, but don't steal other people's shit, man.
Right. I never had that issue just because at any other job that I had that was like retail or anything like that had like a break room for lunches and stuff, I always just went out. I mean, I know it's not like the best option, but it was just easier for me to just go out and buy something real quick.
Thankfully, you have the metabolism to be able to do that. So there's
that. Had the metabolism. It's catching up.
It'd be like that sometimes.
And then like right now I work with the family, so like it's whatever. Like everyone just brings their own thing. Like
if you fucking eat my shit and I work with my family, I'm gonna arm wrestle you.
And so it's like it's whatever. I don't have to like it would be different if I was working for like non-family and like the lunch that I took, someone was taking it or something. Exactly. I'd be like, hey yo, like no, we're not doing that.
But joke's on you because it was fucking dog food. That's the best part.
That was the best part. Like the fucking dog food. I love it.
That is incredible.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. Well, that's our show this week. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. We got our season coming, our 2.0 season. We're just getting started. We have plenty more coming up. We're going to have more guests this time.
Moss guests.
So we'll see you guys here next week at the Heckin podcast. Bye, guys.
Bye.